former FBI and DOJ leadership of abusing their positions. What's up, everybody? Truth Seeker here. Yeah, that turns out the former leadership deserves much of the blame as what the report's actually showing. And what's funny about all this was Gowdy just the other day came out and was stating that Trump's spying claims were totally inaccurate. And then just the other day, Paul Ryan came out and backed Gowdy's statement. It's really showing their true colors, isn't it? I mean, everybody for, the last few months has been calling out Gowdy. They've been saying, well, Gowdy seems like he's a part of it, or he's been compromised or something. And I believe this actually proves it, and this also proves that Paul Ryan is also a part of it. Why are they sitting there covering for each other? Isn't it kind of interesting? And this is also really proven now that James Comey was actually insubordinate of his position, and Trump had every single reason to fire him. Yet they tried to say he was undermining the DOJ and the FBI by doing this move, even though he had full rights to fire him for anything in the world. He should have fired him right off the bat, but he didn't. He gave him a chance and then found out his true colors, and then that's when he fired him.
Do you remember how we were told time and again that it was President Trump damaging the integrity of our cherished institutions?
Is the president threatening the long-standing independence of the Justice Department?
The latest really episode in the president's long-term campaign to undermine the Russia investigation, the Department of Justice, etc., the FBI.
Look, the Justice Department is under a shelling from the White House. It's like London 1941 there.
A full-throated assault on the rule of law, undermining the Department of Justice, undermining the FBI in ways that are just shocking.
Shocking. Well, now the shoe is squarely on the other foot. Think about what we've just learned in the past 48 hours. McCabe, the former deputy FBI director, has asked for congressional immunity for any further congressional testimony. According to ABC News, the DOJ Inspector General report finds that Comey was insubordinate and criticizes his handling of the Clinton email investigation. The report also casts serious doubt on the former Attorney General Loretta Lynch's role in that same investigation, particularly her tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton. Let's discuss these amazing new falls from grace with former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino of NRA TV, president of Judicial Watch Tom Fitton, and Jeff Beatty, who served in the FBI and CIA. Let's start with you, Tom. It is quite something to hear that litany of sound bites with the grand exaggeration from, it's like the bombing of London in 1940. Come on. I mean, what we've seen in this Inspector General report, just the little dribs and drabs we've seen so far, is an FBI that was mishandling this investigation, not consulting with superiors, and apparently just defying internal protocol and how they handle these matters.
Yeah, President Trump inherited a terribly corrupt leadership at the FBI, and he cleaned house by firing Comey. This IG report confirms, essentially, it looks like, that he did the right thing. Ironically, Mr. Rosenstein came to the same conclusion in excoriating Mr. Comey's handling of the Clinton email investigation. Not so much the sham investigation itself, but the fact is that it was a sham investigation, and rather than confront it directly, he attacked Hillary Clinton to distract from the fact that he was protecting her. What a despicable act by him, and the IG tore him apart.
Dan, let's go to you. You've been extremely passionate on this issue from the very beginning. What are these developments that we've learned today? And again, these are just the initial leaks that we've heard. This IG report seems to be delayed and delayed and delayed. A lot of comment from people, I guess, who were mentioned, and Democrats, Republicans able to comment. Perhaps it'll be changed. But your initial reaction of what we're hearing?
Well, it looks like Jim Comey is going to be exposed for the holier-than-thou phony that he was. Laura, listen, he hid this investigation from Congress for 8 months. Now, just so everybody's clear on this, there is a protocol for quarterly briefings to Congress about sensitive investigations. Comey even acknowledges that in a hearing up on the Hill. And then they ask him quarterly, every 3 months. This isn't difficult for anybody to understand. He hides it for 8 months. They ask him, Representative Elise Stefanik, Mr. Comey, why did you hide the investigation from Congress for 8 months? You're never going to believe this. You know what he says? Because it was sensitive. After acknowledging that they brief Congress every 3 months because of sensitive investigations. Of course, I'm talking about the investigation of Donald Trump. Comey is being exposed here. This was really horrendous leadership, and I really hope this IG report gets the truth out there.
Jeff, your former experience at FBI, CIA, the rank and file agents at the FBI, they don't make a ton of money. They work really hard. A lot of them put their lives in danger every day. What do they think? I mean, it's kind of a generic catch-all question, but I always try to put myself in their shoes. What are they thinking when they see this circus around this Hillary email investigation and then the supposed collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign? That seems totally non-existent, with informants moving in and out of London and dates not matching up. What do you think is going through their minds?
Well, they have to be disappointed. Comey, I don't believe he ever was an FBI agent. He's been an attorney, and he's had some appointed jobs. So he's not really come up through the ranks. Contrast that to somebody like over at CIA, Gina Haspel, who's came up through the ranks. But one of the underlying things here that people are asking that I talk to is, where are the whistleblowers? Where are the rank and file whistleblowers here? And one of the reasons why there are not rank and file whistleblowers coming forward is there's a pay system in the FBI. You alluded to the fact that they don't get the best base pay, but there is a system that rewards them with an additional 25% of their base pay. It used to be called administratively uncontrollable overtime, and then it became LEAP, Law Enforcement Availability Pay. And what it boils down to is FBI agents have to certify and supervisors have to certify that additional time has been worked, basically 50-hour weeks or more. Sometimes these corners are cut. A great book is out there called Fraud Fighters, written by a guy named Wells, who was a former FBI agent. He talks about actual fraud that was conducted, and then supervisors certify that, yeah, this time was worked. And that puts people in a position.
This is all getting too much in the weeds for me, Jeff, but you're saying they're not whistleblowers because they're afraid they're going to get dock pay? I mean, Tom,
remember, they had to sign these extra non-disclosure agreements. They already were committed to not disclosing information about these investigations, and they put the fear of God into them by forcing them to sign these extraordinary non-disclosure agreements. Look, I think the most important thing about this IG leak is that it undermines the Mueller investigation into the alleged obstruction of justice, supposedly, that Trump committed in firing Comey. It shows that Trump was very much in
should have fired him day one. He should have been gone day one. He was a disaster. He should never have been kept on. That was that's like one of the few things I think Trump could have done differently.
This was the most,
in the first month.
The most significant anti-corruption act by a president in recent memory, getting rid of James Comey. And it's being confirmed by the IG. What is Mueller investigating now? The firing of a corrupt government official?
Dan Bongino, why is Rod Rosenstein still supervising Mueller when he is going to be a witness? He is a witness, having signed one of those FISA warrants that did not reveal that Hillary and her campaign paid for that Steele dossier. I mean, Lindsey Graham's been all over this, and apparently he said, if deemed appropriate, I will recuse myself. My goodness, he shouldn't be supervising Mueller.
Laura, not only did Rosenstein sign one of the FISA warrants to spy on members of the Trump team, he's a material witness in the firing of Jim Comey, which the Democrats have alleged was the greatest sin of the Trump presidency, despite Comey's obvious incompetence. Rosenstein's a twofer. He's implicated in Spygate, and he's implicated in the special counsel because he's the one who writes the memo about the firing of Comey. How he is still acting as the deputy AG is one of the great mysteries of my 43 years on this planet.
I mean, he was a bad appointment by Jeff Sessions. You're the deputy in these departments. I worked at the Transportation Department, Education Department, and in the White House in the last couple of years of the Reagan administration. And the deputy position and the undersecretary positions are so important. If you have bad people or people like wet themselves the first time there's controversy, you're going to be in big trouble, especially at the Justice Department. Guys, I want all of you, Jeff, I want you to react to Paul Ryan today in his weekly press conference seemed to jump on the Trey Gowdy bandwagon when asked about Spygate. Let's watch.
Right before the recess, you sat in a briefing with Trey Gowdy. He came out afterwards and said that he's more convinced that the FBI did exactly what my fellow citizens would want them to do. Do you agree with Trey Gowdy?
Yeah, normally I don't like to comment on classified briefings. Let me say it this way. I think Chairman Gowdy's initial assessment is accurate. I think, but we have some more digging to do.
Well, Well, that's an understatement. We still have lots of documents and a lot of months that are missing. Jeff, no spy, I guess we can call it informant, mole, or a lure. What's your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction is that this has always been two different approaches. When the Democratic apparatus was attempted to be penetrated by people outside this country, the FBI went to them and warned them and said, hey, let's work together to make sure that doesn't happen on your servers. That is not the way they handled the Republican side of the coin. They instead decided to go ahead and call it entrapment if you want, run an operation in there, but they sure didn't go into them as American citizens and saying, hey, listen, we have some foreign entities trying to penetrate this and trying to corrupt the process. They handled them differently than they did the Democrats, and there's just no excuse for that.
Yeah, so much for the defensive briefings. Guys, thanks so much.
It's funny, too, all the misinformation that the libs were trying to put out, including Trey Gowdy, trying to say that Trump was wrong about his guess of them spying on him. It was more or less just a deflect tactic so they wouldn't worry about anything because of the upcoming elections. But it's exactly what we all thought it was. I mean, it's not like, it was like some giant hidden conspiracy that we couldn't see or anything. It was too obvious. And the whole thing was just too obvious. The email investigations, the tarmac meeting, Comey already writing up a draft exonerating Hillary way before they even interviewed her. I mean, it was all in plain sight to begin with. So what else do you expect out of this IG report? The only way for anything to go wrong with this is if someone does try to tamper with the final report. But Trump actually tweeted out, "What is taking so long with the Inspector General report on crooked Hillary and slippery James Comey? Numerous delays. Hope report is not being changed and made weaker. There are so many horrible things to tell. The public has the right to know. Transparency." Rumor has it that the full report's actually supposed to be released on the 11th of this month. And as long as it hasn't been altered, this should be the final end to all of this. Because this is going to prove that the whole entire operations on both investigations, the Clinton probe and the Russiagate probe, was totally bull, conspired against the United States, and should be all held accountable for treason for this. But what do you guys think about all this? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below. And thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not getting my YouTube notifications, you can also go to my website, seekingthetruth.info, and then I have a notification bell there that you could click, and that right there will notify you on whatever browser you're using that I just released a new video, and it'll give you a direct link to the latest YouTube video. It's just another alternative way of sending out notifications. But definitely check it out if you haven't been getting my notifications lately. Please subscribe to our channel, like our video, and comment below, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace! And don't forget to click the notification bell.